Welcome to another video about the free and open source billing panel PUQcloud. Today I will show you how to monitor the PUQcloud panel in real time. Panel monitoring includes viewing the task queue, client and admin sessions accessing the panel, activity log, module logs, and notification history. In the future, we plan to expand panel monitoring. We want to add integrations with popular monitoring systems, such as Zabbix, sending logs to InfluxDB, Prometheus, and more. System monitoring is one of the key aspects of security and reliability, especially if PUQcloud is running in a cluster across multiple servers. First, go to the navigation menu and open Monitoring. Then select Task Queue. Here we see a list of all tasks in the queue with their statuses. Statuses can be different. Pending means the task was added to the queue and is waiting for a free worker to pick it up. Once a worker starts processing the task, it changes to processing. It stays in this status while being executed. When execution is complete, the status becomes completed if everything went fine, or failed if there was an error during execution. Note that these statuses belong to the task itself, not to the logic the task was supposed to perform. For example, if the task is to create a user via API, but the API is not available and returns an error, the task may still be marked as completed. That's because it technically finished running. In such a case, your script should handle the API error. A task becomes failed only when there's a programming error. For example, if the task script contains invalid data or crash, or if an exception is thrown during execution. Ideally, all tasks in the system should end with the status completed. That would mean everything worked correctly. Sometimes identical tasks are added to the queue. In that case, the system marks the duplicate tasks as duplicated and does not execute them. The next monitoring section is Admin Sessions. Go to Admin Session in the menu. Here you can see a log of all connections made by all system administrators. Each row includes the date and time of the request, the IP address from which the request was made, the name of the administrator who made the request, the requested URL, the request method, and the type of request, whether it was made through the API or the web interface. This kind of monitoring lets you clearly see who did what and when. Detailed monitoring is always a good way to improve system security. Of course, there is also session monitoring for clients. You can find it in the next menu item called Client Session. Here we see a list of client session records. Since each client is controlled by a user who logs into the system, the table includes both the client and the user who is currently managing that client. The table also shows the date and time of the request, the IP address, the client and user, the requested URL, the type of request, API or web, and the method used. As an administrator, you get full visibility into who did what and when on any client account. This monitoring method helps you quickly identify the right client or user if needed. Next, we go to the Activity Logs tab. Here we see all activity logs happening in the system. Anything important, informational, with errors, or involving changes is displayed here. Each row shows the date. If the action was made by an operator, you will also see the IP address and the administrator's name. You will also see the status and type of the message, and the message itself. The message includes hyperlinks to the related objects involved in that action. This is the main logging table for all of PUQcloud. Every system event is recorded here. For diagnostics and troubleshooting, this is the first place you should check. Another important log section is Module Logs. You can find it under the Module Log tab. In this tab, we see logs from all modules that are performing actions in the system. We see the date and time of execution, the module type, the module name, the action that was logged, and the log level, which is very useful for diagnostics and troubleshooting. There is also an icon. Clicking it opens a pop-up window with input and output data. These details are very helpful for identifying issues and understanding unexpected behavior. We recommend checking this section from time to time for system health and debugging. And finally, we go to the last tab called Notification Histories. In this tab, we see all notifications that were sent. You can check when a notification was sent, to whom it was sent, and exactly which notification it was. Click the icon to open a pop-up window with the full text of the notification, just as it was sent. This information can be very useful for debugging or finding issues. That's it for this overview of PUQcloud panel monitoring. With these tools, you can track every action in the system. From task execution to admin and client sessions, module logs, activity logs, and notifications. Proper monitoring helps ensure security, stability, and faster troubleshooting. Stay in control and keep your system healthy. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and visit our website at PUQcloud.com for more tools and updates. Thanks for watching.